Today, I'm not going to be interviewing anybody. This is just me opening up as a channel and allowing whatever to come through. As always, whenever I do any work, I always open up and tune in and set the intention that the perfect message, guidance, or healing will be channeled through me. For those in attendance, and obviously this time I've done it for those in attendance on the live call, but also for those in attendance on the replay. So we'll see what's going to come through. Okay, so as most of you are probably aware, my name is Louise Matson, and it has been my absolute honor to host this season 2 of the Mundane to Magical online summit series. Literally a year ago, I had no idea that this was something that I was going to be doing, although it was highlighted in my soul purpose profile through Ariella Indigo's work, that I was a networker and a communicator, and again, it's not something that I would have naturally have fully owned, I would say, although I had held positions, senior managerial positions in our National Health Service, and obviously would have said my communication skills were very good. Being seen in my truth as an intuitive channel, as a conduit for energy healing, as a way shower and a spiritual guide, that is not something that I would have said I felt in any way comfortable with. And that is the journey that I've been on for the last 3 or 4 years since my other large awakening experience, which was when my parents died, both of illnesses, and actually literally to the day 2 years apart. And where I specialize is where my journey has been my whole life, which is basically assisting people on their own path of disempowerment to standing in their sovereignty. And that's really the journey that I continue to be on. And I think one of the speakers said, we only have to be a couple of steps ahead of somebody else to assist them on their journey. And so in my journey, some of the things that I have learned along the way is that through whatever means, we begin this awakening process, reawakening process, the remembering of who we truly are as creator beings, as these amazing multidimensional, spiritual, energetic beings, so much more than our physical form, so much more than the roles that we've been playing in our life. And whether that is through a traumatic life event, or whether that is something that, like me, you were aware of very young in childhood, but, locked away, denied, repressed for whatever reasons, your own perfect journey. And then, the universe gently nudging you throughout your life to reconnect with that aspect of yourself more deeply. It doesn't matter. The energies that are coming to the planet now, where we are within Gaia's ascension process herself, is that more and more people are finding themselves on this awakening journey. More and more people are finding themselves at that point of awareness of there's more to life than this. There's more to the daily grind, or living in that very third dimensional world with all the structures. And as Kristen said, become aware of the hologram. Now, we use these terms, but really it doesn't matter. And what I was trying to get across in Kristen's interview is, if you know that things could be different, if you know that it doesn't have to be this way, then you're aware of the hologram, the matrix, whatever you want to call it. And then it's about, okay, that's the awareness. the awareness of, I'm more than just this physical form. I'm more than, just a daughter, a parent, a co-worker. That's where it all starts, that awareness. And then it's what we choose to do. That's our path of disempowerment into fully connecting and embodying that sacred aspect of ourself, our individuated divine spark, if you want to call it God spark, source spark, whatever it is. Again, they're all words, it doesn't really matter. But that eternal essence of ourselves, which is vibrating at the highest vibrational frequency. And when we begin this journey, it seems like a dim light, like shrouded in layers and layers and layers of grime. And I saw mine as literally walls around it, that through my journey I had to break down. But as we said, that kind of that onion effect where we peel those layers off, it no longer has to be like that. We literally can, in an instant, decide. And that's really, again, as Sandra Walter mentions this, it's that conscious choice, that conscious decision to actually step into and embody that eternal aspect of ourselves, to really radiate and shine that light, to fully align with that aspect of self. That is the key thing. I set the intention when I do any work, and the intention is the key aspect, because that's what I'm sending out into the universal field. Thank you, Lynn. That's what I'm saying. Your intention is the thing that can transcend you. The reason that my journey accelerated at such an astronomical rate from the point where my father died was because I stepped up. Up until that point, I dipped my toe in. I dipped my toe in and out, but then when it got too hot, when it got a little bit too like, oh, not sure if I can deal with this and still fit into the normal world, I pulled back. And that was the journey throughout most of my life. Having experiences, no, stepping back, pulling back. And I don't judge any of that, because that was my perfect journey. Because to be honest, that is the journey of most people on this planet. There are very few people that can just go, yeah, I'm there, and boom, they're embodying their highest aspect of self. Now, there are some, but the majority of us are the dip your toe in, oh no, come back a bit, pull back a bit, then again, dip your toe in a little bit further down the line. And so I honor that part of my journey. And that's another aspect of the journey, is that non-judgment and loving every part of it. It doesn't matter whether at the time we experienced them and we thought that they were good or bad, honoring that it was all perfect. It was all perfect for us, because it's in our mess, those patterns, those things that occurred in our younger life and throughout our life that we overcame, that is the message, is our purpose, is how we're here to serve others in their awakening journey. Because ultimately everybody's soul purpose is to embody that highest eternal aspect of self, to embody within this physical form. Otherwise we wouldn't have incarnated on this planet at this time. There's a reason that we all chose to come here, and that's an important aspect. We chose to come here at an eternal essence, a point of perspective. We made the decision to come, to assist Gaia to ascend, to be part of, whether you want to call it the beautiful experiment, doesn't matter, but to assist others in their journeys as well. So looking back over your life without getting caught in the drama, looking back and, whether you want to say seeing the gifts or the blessings, or, or whatever it was that you took from that, it doesn't matter. But looking back and going, yeah, that was my perfect journey. And actually in me experiencing that, it's enabled me to be here now, who I am. And it's enabled me to speak the language of others who have had a similar path. who have had a similar journey. And, I've now got the tools because I've had to go through them and learn them myself. But actually, I've got this toolkit that I can go, do you know what? You don't have to. You don't have to go through that all yourself, learning how to do it. Here, try this. And if it doesn't work, rearrange it, adjust it, adapt it to fit you. And that's definitely something that I teach. Standing in your sovereignty, being empowered is not taking the word of anybody else as verbatim, filtering it through your own heart, filtering it through your own sense of truth, your eternal aspect of self, and feeling the resonance. Does that feel right? Yes, great. Follow the advice, or take on board the information. If it doesn't, also fine. Let it go, because it's not in resonance with your particular flavor of truth. And what I mean by that is, I see I'm clairaudient slightly. I'm mostly clairsentient, claircognizant, and I'm becoming more clairvoyant. Because clairaudient, clairvoyant were two things that I blocked because they were the two signs of madness, and that was also a big part of my path. But the universe shows me kind of images and metaphors, because that's basically the way the universe talks to us, a lot in metaphor. And they show me as people with as different flavors of ice cream sometimes. So it's like your life experiences have created your particular flavor, your particular brand of ice cream. And so that's your particular brand of the truth, if you want. And it's colored by your experiences. And again, all of those experiences were chosen by your eternal self. And that's the beauty of it, because, we all know not everybody likes the same flavor of ice cream. So, you are the perfect flavor for a certain group of people out there, but not everybody is the perfect flavor for you. And that's what I mean about, discerning. Just as you would say, oh, I don't like that flavor of ice cream, it's just as valid to say, actually, yeah, I'm going to take this part of what you're saying, but the rest doesn't resonate, so I'm going to let that go with love. And, we're not disrespecting anybody with that way of being. We're actually honoring our truth and honoring their particular flavor is just slightly different to ours, their individuality, because we are all this individual divine spark. I don't know why they wanted that to come through, but there we go. So the essential aspect is making that conscious decision. And when my father died, I made the conscious decision to actually properly step up, to stop dipping my toe in and actually, do the service work, to get on board with it. And that is why at that point, my whole life kind of fell apart, because all my life up until that point had been built around pleasing other people, being what they wanted me to be, and everything like that. And so I had to let an awful lot go that was very much entrenched in my identity. And again, that's another part of the journey. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to leave their job, or, leave loved ones, or change friendships and things like that. But it can be an aspect of the journey as well. But the important thing is being and doing what is in alignment with your truth and what feels right for you. And the more that we do that, the more that we're able to kind of really hone that skill of determining, yes, this is in alignment with me and my truth. And actually, no, this is me just playing out the program of the people pleaser, or sort of fear of the unknown, and things like that. And the thing is, we call it shadow work because the other aspect is looking at those when we do identify them. If I made a decision to do something or not to do something, and I was aware that, you know, this wasn't in alignment with my truth, I now go, well, that's really interesting. So that I'm allowing the shadow, the program, the automatic program that has literally just been encoded in our DNA through, you know, other lifetimes, our ancestral codes and all sorts of things. What is that program that's running? So is it people pleasing? Is it fear? Is it lack? You know, what is it? Identifying it, honoring it, and acknowledging it. You know, it's not about denial and suppression and repression anymore. This is about expression of our truth. And that has been an aspect of our truth. And for me, it's about saying thank you. Thank you for being part of my program, for being part of my life up until this point, because I wouldn't be where I am now if you hadn't been there to protect me. For some reason, that program is there to, from a very small perspective, keep us safe. And then let it go, because again, we're choosing to be something different. We're choosing into something different. But if you're not ready to let that program go, if you're not ready to step up and take the leap that your heart is asking you to take, again, not judging yourself, because that program's been running for however long. Of course, you're going to follow that program naturally. You know, that feels more familiar than, you know, stepping off a cliff, which the, you know, your eternal self is asking you to do, and doing something completely different, and actually doing something that goes against all of the beliefs that you've been taught throughout your whole life. So, you know, cutting yourself some slack and just laughing and going, yeah, of course, I'm, you know, I've chosen to follow this program. But in having this conscious awareness, next time that this program comes up, I may actually be in a place where I can choose something different. And that's what I mean about kind of dipping your toe in and out, but doing it in a conscious way. You know, when I was doing it before, it was semi-conscious. But now, you know, on the journey from the last 3 or 4 years, it's been completely conscious. I've known exactly what I've been doing. And I've had conversations with myself. And that's the other thing, you know, talking to yourself is a really important aspect, because it's about building that relationship up with your eternal aspect of self, with your divine individuated spark. And then you're able to use your discernment more because you've built that relationship up. They often show me it as a dial on a radio or an old television where you used to have to tune it in. We're so used to being at a certain bandwidth on this radio dial. And your eternal aspect of self is way, way over here on the highest frequency bandwidth. Now we have to make a conscious choice to tune in and find that channel and connect with that channel. And that channel becomes stronger the more we do that. And yeah, there's going to be times when the automatic reset goes to ego FM at the lower band frequency, but it's about consciously dialing it back up and tuning in. And that's how we get rid of that white noise, the kind of fuzzy, distorted signal in the middle. And that's where we get to have the clarity and the clear messages coming through. And again, they're never going to probably be do this, do that, you know, really obvious words in your mind. There might be, but they're probably going to be more like a feeling, a pull towards something, a metaphor, you know, a sign. You might see repeated numbers and ask what that means for you, or you might have feathers appearing everywhere, or coins. It was coins for me, and that was, I kind of said, okay, the appearance of coins is an indication that I'm on the right track, even when I'm feeling at that moment that I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I would just find coins in the road, and I'd go, right, okay, I know I'm on the right track. It might feel uncomfortable, but I'm on the right track, and therefore it builds that trust. Another key message that I had over the last 4 years was trust and faith, which drove me absolutely insane for ages. Because, you know, one of the key paths of disempowerment is not trusting, not trusting myself. That's basically what it's about. um Numbers for you, yeah, absolutely. Now I just get repeated numbers all the time, which I love, and I'm like, yay, grateful. um but yeah, trust, it's another aspect of the path of disempowerment, because we don't trust ourselves, we don't believe in ourselves enough, and therefore we give our power away and we allow others to take our power from us. And so regaining that trust is a journey, but it's the same journey. It's that same journey of listening to that guidance, tuning in, clearing out your field of all the clutter. We talked with Kristen about being an empath. And I find it interesting that, basically a lot of people talk about being an empath in a negative way because we're so hypersensitive. But it's such a gift. It is such a gift, to be able to just know what's going on with another person by reading their field. That's a gift. And that's what an empath does. We taste the air around us, the energy around us. And when you develop that gift even more, then you are able to be really extraordinarily helpful healers to people when they're going through stuff, because you can highlight things for them, highlight things that are in that, they don't consciously want to know box. But it's, again, just bringing awareness to things. So yeah, I'm clearing your field of all the white noise, the clutter, by actually managing your energy, managing your energetic body, your field, doing the clearing and cleansing work, but again, in alignment with your body. I started the journey, and they were telling me, get back to basics, do your energy management. And I had the realization that I really wasn't grounded. I thought I was a really grounded person, but I had actually no clue what being grounded was until I properly allowed myself to be grounded. And again, that came back to lack of trust, because I was feeling the density, the pain, the fear, all of the stuff that I was hoovering up unconsciously around me. I didn't want to connect with third dimensional Earth. And so I wasn't grounded. And therefore, I would feel, I'd get to the point of burnout, because I'd get to the point where I was just taking on everybody else's pain, that I wasn't able to process it, and I would have to kind of, I would be ill to process it, and or I'd have to give it to the earth, which was something that I used to do as a child. But again, my journey was about remembering all those things that I did naturally. And it took me until I was, I was guided to Steve Noble to do the work with connecting with the highest vibrational aspect of the earth rather than the third dimensional aspect of the earth, that I was able to start that process of getting grounded. And then the shamanic practices, and the trainings that I've done with shamanism have really enabled me to connect with Gaia, with the earth, and actually have such a beautiful connection that I now feel safe. I now trust enough to be grounded. So it is about finding your own way through, but allowing the universe to guide you. And that was the other thing that wanted to come through, and that was coming through with Kristen's call. Sending stuff out into the field, like I set the intention, yeah, okay, I'm ready, I'm going to step up to the plate and do my service work. But I had no attachment to how that was going to look, because I had no clue. And I wasn't putting any details or any parameters on it or any boundaries to it. And so I just followed whatever came into my field. If it was a YouTube video that connected me with a particular teacher or healer, I just followed that in terms of what felt good. I kept checking in with myself. Is this the right thing to be doing? I used muscle testing. I've used pendulums. There are multiple ways that you can connect with that aspect of yourself and receive answers, or just have that feeling of, yeah, this feels light, this feels good, there's no kind of funky and not in a good way associations with it. And I just flowed with everything, and all of the doors that were opening, and again, you may see them as doors opening, you may see them as opportunities, or they may just be random things that come into your awareness. And an example of that is, I because of my experience on this shamanic training of such an amazing connection with the earth, I really wanted the earth's energy to be present on this summit. And so I set that intention out. I said, universe, I really want the earth to be represented on this summit. 10 minutes later, I get a notification on my phone from YouTube. I don't have notifications switched on. And it was Rachel Fottenhauer being interviewed with John Burgos. And she's an earth channel. And I watched it and it was amazing. And I loved her energy. And so I found out how to connect with her, and I emailed her, and she said yes straight away. And that's what I mean. That was a door of opportunity opening, but it just seemed like a completely random act. So when we talk about these terms that get bandied about within the spiritual community or the ascension community, they don't have to be, people aren't seeing them as doors of opportunity or things like that, but that's what they are. These random events, these opportunities that pop up, those are the doors of opportunity if you're open to everything. Caroline's just asking a question. Rachel Fottenhauer, she's the Earth Channel. Yes, there's going to be a replay period starting on Wednesday, and that's the other thing that I wanted to tell everybody. But there's going to be a replay period for 5 days, which also spans over the weekend. So for those people who came late to the summit, or if you missed for whatever reason one of the interviews, or you just really want to watch them again, then that's an opportunity to watch them or listen, because this summit I've also done audio versions. But yeah, we don't necessarily visually see these things, like the hologram. I don't visually see the hologram, but I am aware of the different structures that are in place and think, it doesn't have to be this way. There's another way. It can be a much more graceful and easeful world. And that's what I mean. Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in, I can't do it. I'm not as far along the path as everybody else because I don't see this. I don't, experience this in this way. We're all experiencing spirit offering us doors of opportunity. We're all experiencing our higher self, our soul, our eternal self talking to us. It's how we perceive it. That's the important aspect. But when you make that conscious decision to embody your highest aspect of self, to fulfill your service work, whatever it is that you're setting the intention to do, then when these random events start occurring, it's then about being open, just being open to follow them, to see where that pathway leads. And that's another example of that, is the book. We'll have a book launch on the 23rd of November, Voices of Hope. And that was something, again, about 2 years ago. So it was about 2 years after my dad died. It was actually just after my mum died. I got this opportunity just randomly, completely randomly. I can't even remember how it happened. Where I was offered to write in a book, which was actually titled at that point, Pivotal Moments. And at that point, I had a massive pivotal moment, the deaths of my parents. And I thought, yeah, sure, I'll be in the book. I wrote the chapter and sent it off and never thought another thing about it. It completely went out of my head. And that's what I mean about not having any attachments. I didn't write that chapter and think, I'm going to be in this book and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to make lots of money and la, 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 la. I did it because it felt good. sent it off, never thought about it again. And she'd published a book, I think it was last year, and I kind of just went, oh, wasn't I meant to be in that book? Didn't think about it again. And then this year, she's, Brenda came and said, oh, the book's being published and your chapter's in this book. So it's like, yay. It's great. And it's just because now is a perfect time. When I wrote the chapter, I felt very, very self-conscious. And in all honesty, I don't know if I was ready to have that chapter published because I was opening myself up. It was quite raw. And I was sharing my journey. And yet at that time, I hadn't done the clearing. I hadn't done the letting go fully. The next year down the line, I was further on down my journey, but I still felt a little bit uncomfortable talking about starseeds and some of the other things that I spoke about in the chapter. Now, I'm completely happy to talk about it. And in fact, it's really important that other people know and hear. And I feel that it's a perfect part of my journey now, because I am now in that place where I'm not afraid of it. I'm not, I'm not avoiding, I wouldn't avoid having a conversation about it and things like that. And that's how we know we've done the clearing work. When we haven't got any emotional pull back to whatever it was that was holding us back. Now, I spoke about, the energetic boundaries and energy management, and the clearing is a big, big part of that. But one of the key things for me on my journey that I wanted to share was, don't be swayed by other people's techniques of clearing. Now, it's something that we will naturally do. Somebody else we perceive them to be much further along the path than we are. They must be doing the right things. Therefore, I'm going to follow exactly what they've done. Well, that's what I did. I fell into that too. But what I found was I had massive, massive reactions. And it was basically my perfect lesson to say, yes, the clearing has to be done, but it doesn't have to look exactly the way somebody else has done it. That was their journey. That worked for them. And for me, my journey, because I am ultra sensitive, was softly, softly, slowly, slowly, gently, gently. And basically just constantly talking to my body, asking what it needed, what it wanted, and changing my diet in alignment with what it was saying. But in working in that way, for me, I found the whole process of massive life-changing ways of being really quite easy. I mean, I've never been addicted to drink or drugs or cigarettes or anything. That's not been my thing, but I have been addicted to sugar. I've numbed myself with sugar and fizzy drinks. And I would say I had been addicted to Pepsi Max. There are, of course, other brands of fizzy drink available. But I was able, by doing this process of just connecting with my body, asking what it wanted, and actually just following that guidance. Initially it was drinking lemon water, a glass of lemon water in the morning. Then it was kind of cutting out various foodstuffs like wheat and dairy and meat. And then all of a sudden I realized I hadn't had a fizzy drink in over a year. And it wasn't something that I'd consciously decided I'm going to stop having this substance. It was that I consciously decided to fully embody my highest aspect of self and allowed whatever my body, my eternal self was telling me that it wanted to do to take place. And I'm not saying that I gave up sugar overnight. It was a process. First of all, I gave up processed sugars and then just continued on from there. But the realization dawned on me that this thing that I'd been completely addicted to, I mean, I must have drunk at least 2 cans a day for years. I hadn't had any for over a year, and I had no desire to have any. And that to me was just that beautiful example of it doesn't have to be hard work. You know, when we do any of this clearing stuff, because it is all just energy, it doesn't matter what words we put to it. Entities, dark energies, attachments, parasites, or, it's all energy. My addiction to Pepsi Max was just as ingrained as any of the other stuff that I had, those programs and things running in my field. Because I wasn't focused on doing that, I wasn't focused on the negative aspect. I was focused on what I wanted to achieve. I want to embody my highest aspect of self. It just happens so easily. And another example of that I will share is I was in Colombia with a shaman. And everybody, it was an ayahuasca ceremony. Everybody else was, I could hear everybody else going through their own journeys, and, they sounded like they were having a challenging time. That's my perception of their journey. But I was aware that there was a dark energy that was leaving my body. I had no attachment to it. I didn't want to know what it was. I had no interest. It was just, you're going in the fire. You're out of here. And I was aware of it just leaving. And that was a massive lesson to me, that we don't have to engage in it. We don't have to go through the kind of the challenge of experiencing it all over again, or, dealing with it kind of thing, really getting in there. We can literally just say, go, go in the fire, clear, be released. And that was a really interesting aspect of my journey, and really enlightening. And it completely impacted on the way that I heal, the way that I channel healing, because now I just completely trust. I completely trust that I'm the conduit of healing, and that the perfect healing is going to take place. I don't take people through past life regressions. I don't attach to any of the energy that is coming through. We just clear it, because I have experienced through my own journey, we don't have to do that. That's kind of like old paradigm stuff. That like we were saying, that kind of peeling the layers and layers and layers off the onion. We don't have to do that anymore. I mean, we choose into doing that, but we can just go, no, done. Cleared. You're gone. So that was something else that really wanted to come through. Just checking in with them if there's anything else that they want to share. So standing in your sovereignty. Standing in your sovereignty is about standing in your truth, being completely in alignment with that creator aspect of yourself, and it's radical responsibility, being absolutely radically responsible for what you're sending out into the field and what you're allowing to absorb into your field, and basically living your truth moment by moment by moment. And that was something that my ego was like, what? Oh my goodness, that would be so much hard work. But actually what I've found is it's so much easier than actually living out of alignment with your truth. When you're in alignment with your truth and you're just going with the flow, what comes up is what comes up. You're going in one direction, then all of a sudden the universe is guiding you in this. You just change direction. Whereas before, I would have been caught up with, oh, what are they going to say? What are they going to think? Oh, I was going down this route. I'm committed. No, it doesn't matter to me anymore. It's like, okay, well, that was right for that moment, but actually now this direction's right for me, so I'm going to go down this. And it just seems to travel along with ease. And I don't judge it, and I don't have any attachments to things. I just do them because I'm being guided to do them. And yet I'm completely responsible for the thoughts, the emotions, everything that I'm sending out into the field. And I'm responsible for what I'm allowing myself to receive. And I'm not saying that I don't get triggered. I do. I am still having a human experience, but I take responsibility for that. And the other thing about radical responsibility is that non-judgment is an absolutely essential part of it. I'm not taking responsibility, but beating myself with a stick because, I did this and it was wrong and I've taken 2 steps back. No, I just take, I did that. Okay. Why did I do that? Because that program's been running for a long time. Okay, that's great. Next time I'm intending to do something different. And then you just get back on the horse and you just take that next step again. And all of that, program of judgment and self-loathing and everything that goes with it is gone. The energy's just not there. And the other thing is radical self-care. Putting yourself at the center of your universe, putting yourself first, because we can't assist anybody on their journey if we're not actually looking after ourselves. It's like trying to give from an empty cup. And I know I've done that. And I'm pretty sure that the majority of people on this planet do it every single day. You just feel like you've got nothing to give anybody, and somebody asks for something and you go, oh yeah, okay, I'll do that. No, it is absolutely essential that we take responsibility for ourselves. And if we're feeling depleted and we're feeling low, we can't give to others, because the energy that we'll be giving will be completely low frequency. The signature that goes through with that energy is dishonoring the other person. I would rather give from a place of fulfillment within myself, so that I know that I'm giving 100% to that person. I'm meeting their needs, I'm honoring them, than feeling like, oh God, I can't do this, I haven't got the energy for this. Oh yeah, okay, I'll help you, or I'll do this thing, and then leading to resentment or something like that. Candy, you've got your hand raised. I'm just going to allow you to talk. Oh, there we go. Oh, you're muted. Unmute you. Hey Candy. Oh, are you able to unmute yourself, Candy? I can't unmute you. Are you able to unmute yourself, Candy? No, I can't unmute you. Oh, there you go. Hi, Candy. Are you able to talk? I don't hear anything, Candy, so I'm not sure if your microphone is working. Okay, I'm going to mute you again and disable talking. If anybody wants to raise their hand and ask me a question, please feel free. I'm more than happy to take questions about anything that we've experienced on the summit, about something that you may be going through on your journey, whether anything that I've been saying is resonating with you all. We are bringing the summit to a close today. Oh, Caroline's got a hand up. I'm allowing you to talk, Caroline.
Hi, beautiful.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi, beautiful. Everything you say is in alignment with where I am. Everything you've said in your life is exactly the journey that I've been on as well. Just, different players.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm aware of my gifts. I'm 56 years old, quite open. I feel like I'm on another leap of another opening on my journey. So everything you've said, being called to go fully in type thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so where I am at is, I don't even know how to say it anymore, because I even thank you so much for this summit, because I've grown so much through the summit, through listening, through going, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, that's where I'm at. That's so many ahas, so many thank yous. I guess my question was just going to be a comment of where I'm at, but there's not even a sense, because it's just a matter of keeping living kind of thing, right? And
Absolutely. I've got an energy coming through.
yes, please.
Okay. I've got the golden dragon, but I've also got a crystalline being. It's golden topaz. So the golden dragon is coming through, and it's really got this sense of power and strength, and it's stood behind you. It's at your back, and it's really this sense of, I got your back, and you have this. And it's kind of filling your heart center with its golden energy. And it's because although you said you're ready for this next leap and it is about kind of fully stepping up, there is still this kind of trepidation about what that gets to look like, what that means. It feels like there is a big paradigm shift coming, and there is an aspect of you that is still kind of on that wavering of how's that going to look, what's that going to be.
Yeah, what about me?
Yeah, absolutely. And this energy, it's pouring into your heart at the minute. It's like a golden elixir. It's like the consistency of like warm honey.
Yes.
But it's just filling your heart center, because it's the dragons are incredibly powerful and they're incredibly transformative, but they're also incredibly gentle. And it's like, you have got this. We've got your back. They're with you. This crystalline being, this golden topaz, is also there. Why is golden topaz there? Golden topaz is like an overseer. There is an aspect of your journey that's coming in, that is working with the devas, that is working with the elemental kingdoms, that is working with the crystalline beings, and that's kind of stepping in, because that's the new stepping in. And the golden dragon is there to enable you to kind of cross that bridge, cross that threshold into that new paradigm, and to sway any of those fears, and to alleviate that aspect of yourself. It's like a little child. It's like this little child that is like, what's going to happen? What about me? And it's really about giving reassurance that aspect is coming on this journey with you. It's not about, leaving that aspect behind, but enabling that aspect to grow into this new. Does that make sense?
Oh, so much. As I did not want to interrupt you, because everything you said just resonated so deeply. And the whole having my back, I really needed to hear that today. Like, you don't know how. Really beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I came in on my chart with the innocence because of what about me. So yeah, thank you so much.
No problem. You were breaking up a little bit there, but this energy that's come in is really powerful. So I'm not surprised the internet is struggling at the minute.
I said I came in with the energy of innocent inner child. And there was a lot of trauma in the first 14 years. So she's always saying, what about me? So yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I've been shown on a few occasions that I walk a golden thread road. So everything that you said is exactly right on. And but what I really needed to hear, which filled my heart with tears of connection, feeling the truth of that, is that you've got this and we've got your back. I really needed to hear that right now. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. They are going to stay with you. They're going to be in your field, so feel free to connect with them. I mean, especially Golden Dragon. Golden Dragon is there to help you through this transition. It's there to help that aspect of your inner child that's nervous, anxious, fear of the unknown kind of thing. Yeah, the golden topaz, that's the new energy that's coming in. So you may be able to connect with it now, but it's going to definitely be part of your journey moving forward.
I so appreciate this. Thank you so much.
My
I love
pleasure.
you.
I'm just going to mute you
Okay.
again. And disable talking. There we go. Oh, we've got some comments in the chat. Larissa is saying, thank you very much for sharing your wisdom, for hosting the summit, for your help talk. Oh, it's my pleasure. It's a pleasure to listen to you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I will let my life be full of amazing and beautiful achievements and findings, and everybody else. That's the whole purpose of this. This is my service work, is to assist everybody else to step, to make that conscious decision to fully step into their radiance, to fully connect to all aspects of themselves. And, yes, for some of us, that will be doing some of the shadow work, because, I've gone there, those aspects that I've hidden, suppressed, repressed, that deep, deep fear, I've gone in and I've had to face that. But in doing that, the realization that it's just that another beautiful aspect of me that was there for whatever reason to keep me safe in some way. And therefore, when you go there, you end up transmuting it into love and having love and honoring that aspect of yourself, because it's really about sovereignty, empowerment. It's about becoming whole, allowing yourself to become whole. All these fragmented aspects of yourself that you've either given away or they've gone through trauma, or you've buried and repressed because society said that this isn't how you should be, or or your family has said you shouldn't express this bit of yourself. It's about allowing all of those to have space, allowing all of those to come together, and you allowing yourself to be all that you are, the whole of you, because you are all beautiful. And it's about us allowing ourselves to acknowledge that. Standing in our sovereignty means actually standing in your own radiance, having awareness of your radiance, and then allowing that radiance to shine out, and that ripple effect, just by you allowing yourself to express your truth, to be your truth, and honoring that, loving all aspects of yourself. That ripple effect has such a massive impact on the world, most of which you will have absolutely no conscious awareness of, because just your energy will radiate that out, and that will touch another person's energy field, and who knows what experience or journey that's going to unlock in them. But that's their beautiful journey. Yes, some aspects of the ripple you will have an awareness of, but the majority of it just happens completely unconscious to ourselves. And that's also what this journey is about, not having an expectation on yourself, but just being your truth has this amazing, beautiful experience and impact on the whole of the earth. the animals, the plants, everything, you know, the energy of the buildings around you, everything, you know, as you're radiating your light, you are clearing out the density and the lower vibrational energies within the spaces around you. That's what the light does. Lynn's saying she's had a similar journey after her mum died. Things just blossomed, and she believes she's a transmitter. Yeah, you believe she was a transmitter for you. You went to a shaman ceremony a year ago this week and saw the dark energies leaving others' bodies. Yeah, dragons are fabulous. They've been my best friends since I was a kid. I feel I'm in my stillness and still absorbing my abilities and strength. Do you feel anything as I move forward? I love Jesus, Kuan Yin, unicorns, the archangels. I'll just see if there's anything that wants to come through for you, Lynn. I'm seeing a path, but I'm seeing there's a break in the path, Lynn. It's kind of like the path is broken up. Are you able to come on? Where are you, Lynn? Lynn, I'm going to allow you to talk, okay? Are you all right to come on and talk? Oops. Are you able to talk, Lynn? Oh, sorry, I'm not sure if I've got the right person. Marissa. Oh, no. Lynn, that's the one I wanted. There we go.
Well, there I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh. Sorry, I'm very emotional. When you said my name, I'm painting right now, and I have this weird headset on, but you just resonate with me, and I don't know how I even got connected with what you're doing, but it came to me in an email, and I thought, interested, and yeah, anyway, I'm just so emotional when you were trying to connect with me. I just get very overwhelmed with emotion.
No, that's fine. Oh, okay, I've got a really big energy coming through at the minute.
Yeah, I'm very hot right now. I feel a lot of heat.
Yeah.
I think they come to me and I sweat and get so hot when they're with me.
Yeah. I mean, that is actually part of the journey of, I used to call that the gap, you know, the gap between your frequency and the energies coming through. I used to sweat buckets. It would literally feel like I was in a furnace. The more work you do on raising your vibration, the less that will have that effect. I mean, something massive has come through now. I'm just tuning into what it is. I'm just feeling a really enormous golden energy, but it's got like crystalline flecks through it.
Yeah.
So okay, there's two energies. There's like the divine masculine, the divine feminine.
Yeah.
And they're coming together, and what it is they you have to balance the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But there was this, when I looked at your path moving forward, there was a break in the path. So I'm just tuning in. What is this about, this break in the path? So some things have to fall away.
Okay.
Some things, okay, it's going to feel like you're going to have a bit of a rocky experience for a little bit, but it's actually not a rocky experience. It's just as you balance and bring things together, you know, energies have to shift, you know, change. When we experience change from an egoic aspect, we always deem it as challenging because, you know, we have to let something go. But what they're saying is, in letting something go, you're making space. You know, you're bringing these two aspects together, coming into wholeness, and it's kind of clearing the path to lay better, deeper foundations, and taking what remains in resonance with you to create the foundations of the new. But to an aspect of yourself, it is going to feel a bit challenging. It's going to feel a bit overwhelming as you let go of some area of your life that you're currently connecting with as an identity.
It's so funny. I quit a year. I've been unemployed because I wanted to. I was a fitness instructor for 19 years, and I walked away. I don't know. I just heard Spirit tell me I left it all, and I cried and I mourned it. I left everything. I let go of every identity. I didn't want to have a title or a purpose. And now I walk in the woods. I wake up and I kind of just roll with each day. But I keep getting this karmic trench card when I do my Akashic cards, and I'm like, what is it? I can't figure out what's still got that grip. So maybe it'll just break for me, and then I'll know what it is.
Yeah, there's something in the back of my head. You know, the chakra at the back of your head.
Yeah.
There's some real tension there. I'm going to ask them to clear that. Okay, the golden energy has stepped back, and the more kind of sparkly, crystally kind of, it's like glitter. It's like glitter just in the air. Stepping forward. Okay, I see 2 vortexes, and it's really starting to build up the pressure in the right hand side. They're just clearing that energy, just like drawing that energy out. But these 2 vortexes are starting to come together and merge. It's like that energy center at the back of your head has been split. And it's just starting to come back together. Okay, I'm now feeling it easing on the right hand side now. Okay. Okay, so the vortex is now gone, and I just see a set of doors, because this is about you being in control and taking control of what you allow yourself to channel. And you can adjust the doors. You can open them wider, and you can shut them off a bit. So this is about your self-care. This is about you taking control and not just being the done to. You know, when we open ourselves up on our journey, we kind of just go, oh yeah, you know, I'm opening up to everything, but we're not ready to take everything. So this is you kind of taking more control of that. But that energy center at the back of your head was split into 2. So they've actually joined that back together, and it's now just this beautiful kind of doorway. But what they're saying is, you know, here, this is yours to control. So it is about you kind of taking more control of the energies that you channel, of the energies that you allow in, of the when you feel that kind of overwhelm, just tone it down. You know, tell them, I'm just toning this down a bit because, you know, it's just feeling overwhelming. And then you'll be able to get the messages, because when you're in that, whoa, I'm just receiving this stuff, it's difficult to kind of pinpoint and tie into what they're actually giving you.
Exactly. I just get so like flushy hot and I feel all this intense and I'm like, I know they're trying to tell me something, but what? And it's so powerful. And then this has been like the last 3 years. I'm pretty new to all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the fact that you're living in flow, fabulous. The fact that you've been taking steps in alignment, fabulous. Keep doing that. There is an aspect of the old that you are to bring forward as a nugget. It's not like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There is something that wants to be part of the foundations to mend this broken path so that you can go forward onto your new. But now you're in control. That's another aspect of this journey, is you receiving that guidance in a way, shape and form that you can absorb and work with. You know, it's all very well and good us being these open channels and receiving all of this energy, but if it floors us,
exactly.
you know, we can't do anything with it. You know, we might in about 3 months' time, but you know, you want to be, what they're saying is you're the one that's in control. You know,
Okay, I think I've been just like, reaching out to these beautiful deities and beings and maybe being too dependent that they're the ones telling me what to do instead of me being the sovereign master and taking control. Yeah. I think that's spot on. Yeah. I've just trusted that they're going to tell me and guide me and it'll all come together and I'm just going to.
Yeah. No, we are the creator beings. We are the sovereign beings. And that's what standing in your sovereignty is actually honoring that aspect of you. You know, we bring in these energies. We channel Jesus and Kuan Yin and all these energies, and even the dragons. It doesn't matter, you know, who we connect with. They are just higher aspects of ourselves because we are all part of the all that is. And at our highest eternal place, there is no, you know, above and below. We're all equal because we're all the same energy. And so that's what they're saying. You know, they're handing it to you. You are this creator being. Take this mantle.
Yeah, I think it starts back from that religion that, oh, Jesus and God and all of them, they're up there and we're still down here. I think I beat that, but I think that's still ingrained in me that yeah, I've just let go of my power. And I say that I know we're all equal. And I say that my mastery's in me and I'm Jesus and God and I can do all that. But I think there's still a nugget in there that's like seeing them higher or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's feeling it, you know, feeling that truth. And there is a difference between cognitively knowing something and feeling knowing it.
Yeah. That's hard. You know, how when you come from that upbringing of no love and I was the fourth daughter and it's just all that the story. But yeah, that's true. It's just that self-worth again.
Yeah.
Validating
and
it.
that for you, that is a big part of this journey, is redressing that balance, you know, putting yourself on that level and that radical self-care, radical self-love, you know, seeing yourself as that radiant being. You know, forget what you see in the mirror. It's what you see when you allow your eyes to close and you stop and you drop into your heart space. And when I say see, I don't mean with your physical eyes, but what you connect with in there, that's who you are.
Yeah, it's so easy to see it, and I see it in you, and I'm trying to think you are reflecting me. It's so easy to see it everywhere else but in your own self. It is. It's
I
a hard
am purely a mirror.
Yeah.
You can't see anything in me that isn't in you.
You are divine. You're so real and you're easy to understand and connect with. I'm grateful.
Okay.
So you're my color of paint.
I'm your flavor of ice cream. Yeah.
You are my. I can't eat dairy, but yeah, you would be.
Yeah, no, I can't eat dairy either.
But thank you so much. You're just amazing.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for coming on.
Bless you. Thank you.
Bless you. Talking. Okay, I'm just going to read. Is there any message for me? Martha's asking. Suzanne's saying, I often have an inner voice, but it's so heavy to get in Disciplined food times, fixed times for medication and so on. How can I fight that undisciplined? You often have you hear your inner voice, Susan, but are you saying that it's difficult to kind of follow its guidance because you have your fixed times for medication and things like that? The thing is, I always started off taking baby steps. I started off taking baby steps, and we don't have to take massive leaps in one go. I mean, like I say, I've completely shifted my diet. I've completely changed my lifestyle, but I didn't do everything in one go. And it's building up that trust, that relationship with that inner guidance. We are taught that disease has to be treated through various different ways. And I'm not for 1 minute saying stop taking any medication. But when you start allowing yourself to listen to your guidance and following that guidance, following your own truth, trusting yourself and what you know to be right, and what does and doesn't feel in alignment, then you're able to start making these shifts energetically. And Al-Qaeda said about the crystalline DNA, we're redesigning ourselves. We have the ability to redesign ourselves completely. There are people that have reversed the aging process. So it is about, if it feels too much, and that's the other thing, the slapback is incredible when you take those leaps of faith that stretch you just that bit too far outside of your comfort zone. And I know this because I've been there. It's, that's what I experienced in my 20s, when I would dip my toe in and then I would stretch outside of my comfort zone for that time, and bang, I just find myself reeling and thinking, whoa, that was too far. And like I say, when I wrote the chapter of the book, if that had been published that year, that would have been a step too far. But it's taking those little baby steps, allowing yourself to follow your inner guidance in what feels like it's a stretch, but it's not like really stretching the elastic of your comfort zone. And then building the evidence for that lower aspect of yourself that's still very connected to, the way it is right now, the way reality is right now in your existence. Building that evidence base up so that you can say, look, we did this and the sky didn't fall in, we're okay. And then we can take that next bit of guidance that might be stretching you that little bit further and that little bit further. So that's what I would say to that, Suzanne. What time are we at? Oh my goodness, it's 7:15. Oh my goodness. Oh God, time really flies, doesn't it? This season, Spirit has guided me to offer a special offer. So one of the things that Spirit's basically guided me to do is to offer a 90-minute personal healing and guidance session with me over Zoom. And as I say, the way I work is I open myself up, and whatever needs to take place takes place in that session, whether it's healing, whether it's guidance. I never know what's going to come through. I just tune in, open up and allow. So it's a 90-minute session with me over Zoom, and the entire collection of interviews for season 2, all for $127. So there's a saving on my personal session and the price of the whole season's interviews. The other thing is that I am going to be sending out an email about the replay period, which starts on Wednesday. The email will go out with the link to the replay page at 12 o'clock UK time on Wednesday. And there will also be an opportunity for anybody who, may energetically struggle to watch things online, or just wants to have the season in their personal repertoire of ascension reference guides. And there have been some really powerful interviews during this season, as there were last season. Some really powerful transmissions that, when you go back and listen again, you just get more and more and more aha moments, more and more nuggets. So I'm offering, I think it's the whole series for $30 if it's purchased before the end of the replay period. So I think that's all that I have time for. I'm just checking Spirit. Okay, I'm going to take one more call. Spirit wants to answer one more person. Martha, I'm going to allow you to talk. Martha, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I've enjoyed listening to you, and I was just wondering if there are any messages my guides would like me to get from you.
I've actually got Mother Mary coming in. And there's a very soft blue energy, and it's like she's putting this around your shoulders. So there is this sense of a need for comfort. There's an aspect of you carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And this is about you self-nurturing, you nurturing yourself more. There is a real need for, it's like, bringing this energy, wrapping it around you, and just really, okay, now I'm getting a picture of you in this enormous kind of comfy chair. It's let yourself be held by the universe. Let yourself be nurtured and nourished. You don't have to do everything alone. Let us in. But there is also this kind of light to medium blue, actually, kind of like a snuggly blanket being wrapped around you. And it's very much connected to Mother Mary's energy. I don't get an awful lot of ascended masters coming through very often. And then there's another energy coming through, and it's like a spiraling dancer. And this is an aspect of play. So again, very much related to this weight of the world being held on your shoulders. So the messages that are coming through are, let the universe support you. You are supported. Allow yourself to receive, basically. And this spiral dancer is just spiraling round and round and round you, and it's like a feeling of freedom and lightness and just joy, but also as it's spiraling round, you then get this image of these spirals of energy all around you. So the spiraling dancer is creating a vortex of like, not a vortex, but like it's now turning into a geometric shape around you. So you've now got an octahedron, an octahedron around you. It's like a pyramid on top, pyramid below. So it's like they're creating this space around you. So there's this thing about, so distancing yourself from the drama that is around you. you know, being in this centered space of this protective space that this spiraling dancer has created. It's like an octahedron made of light that goes beyond your physical form, and yet within it you've got this snuggly blanket around you of this is this safe nurturing space that they're creating for you. Because you tend to feel like you have to fix things, and you take that on, whether you're aware of it or not. You take it on internally.
Yes.
And that causes havoc. It causes absolute havoc within your field. So this is about you learning to nurture yourself and let the universe nurture you. They've created this safe space around you. They've literally created space that you can intend to be in, rather than completely, oh God, oh wow, got a real pain in my heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, we're just gonna. Okay. Mother Mary's stepping back, and I'm just calling in my healing team. So we've now got my healing team within this space that is been created. They're stood around you, and they're just working on your heart center, and they're just. I just see them kind of like pulling out cord. So they're just pulling something out of your heart center. So just allow beautiful beings of love and light. Okay. And at the end of this cord that seems to go on forever is a little like lockbox. And so they're just removing that, taking that away. And they're now just filling the space within the heart with a beautiful, really high vibrational frequency of it's like diamond white with like electric blue edge tinge to it. And it's creating a rose, but the rose is it's like a red rose within your heart center. So whatever has been taken out, was no longer needed, was actually hindering you, and they've replaced it with this beautiful energy that has just transformed into a rose within your heart center. And it's closed at the minute, but over time it is going to unfurl. How does your heart center feel?
Right now it feels good and open.
Yeah.
I had been getting visitors from other dimensions, and it was just terrifying me. I think that's why the protection is around me. One of the visitors asked, when was I moving out?
No, you are taking sovereignty. I've been using command codes recently quite a bit, but again, just allowing whatever wants to come through to be said. But, you know, you are a sovereign being. You choose what comes in and what goes out. That's the radical responsibility. We choose. We are the ones that allow, unconsciously, consciously. But it's about allowing whatever command codes. You know, when you're clearing your field, if something feels like it's wanting to come in and it doesn't feel good, you say no. You are not coming in. I am a sovereign being. This is my sovereign space. Claim it. Reclaim your space. But they have put this protective kind of boundary between you and whatever, whether it's on this dimensional plane or any other. It doesn't matter. You are an incredibly powerful creator being, and it is about you reclaiming your sovereign space, but nurturing yourself, not being hard on yourself. It's like letting yourself be wrapped in that blanket. And blue is also coming through as protection as well. Letting yourself be nurtured and held.
Thank you so much.
Well, my heart feels a lot better now, which I'm glad to say. I'm clairsentient. That's how I work. I tend to feel people's pain.
I do too. It works well for me as a nurse for healing other people. But I was just really confused with these visitors and being so terrified and wondering, am I supposed to be super strong and stand up to them? Or it's like, no, let the universe do it.
Well, I mean, there is a bit of both, to be honest. Mother Mary was saying, let the universe hold you, let the universe assist. You don't have to do this alone. And that's what I mean. It's that stretch beyond your comfort zone. If you're not ready right now to fully reclaim your power and say, absolutely no way, on your way, Jack, then, call in whoever. Dragons, angels, it doesn't matter. Whoever feels in alignment for assistance. Have Archangel Michael stand there with his massive sword saying, your name's not on the list, you're not coming in. But that was also the spiral dancer. It's, don't dive into the fear, lighten it up.
Okay.
It is literally like, your name's not down, you're not coming in. It doesn't matter what they are. It is just energy.
Okay.
But you are a sovereign being. And in time, you will get to the point where you are saying the command codes naturally yourself. You are saying, no way. Not even engaging in that. I mean, when I was a child, even when I was a child and I was channeling, I never wanted to channel lower vibrational beings. I always intended to channel the highest vibrational beings. And so it's not about saying what you don't want, it's about tuning into what you do. Yes, I am a channel. Yes, I am an empath. And yeah, I'm open to receiving messages, guidance, and healing for myself, for others. But I'm choosing into the highest vibrational energies of divine love, light, and integrity, or whatever works for you, whatever fits. So play with it. Play with it.
Yes. Now that you say this, I just realized, when I tune in, I don't have to tune in to where they are. I can ask to tune into the highest place and go from there.
Absolutely.
Well, that takes a lot of weight off of me.
Yeah. I never my whole life, even when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, never engaged in those energies. That's why I'm not the person that people come to for that kind of work, who have been really massively disturbed by that, because I've never allowed them in. But that will assist people just to know, actually I can say who I want to connect with.
Yeah.
Because I am a creator being. I am the powerful spiritual being too. I literally can say, no, I'm not tuning into that radio station. I want Divine FM.
Yeah. At 5 years old, I had no choice but to tune into an entity that wanted to destroy myself and my family. And it's really confused me for the rest of my life, but I'm understanding now that I have the power not to allow that in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have the power now more than ever, because, you know, the frequency of energy coming through, we're able to actually clear away the illusions and really connect with that truth.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope that helped you.
Oh God, it did. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Okie dokie. I'm just going to mute you again.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, right. I'm going to have to call it there, guys. It's an hour and a half. I'm so sorry. I could do this all day. But yeah, so much love to you all. Thank you so much for joining me on this season of the summit. I am going to remain open to spirit for who will be the perfect speakers with the perfect messages for the next one. And I very much look forward to seeing you again then. Take so much care of yourselves, love yourselves, and allow yourselves to fully embody and embrace the wholeness and the radiance of who you all truly are. Blessings to you all, so much love, and have a great rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Bye.